Hello guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to a video on the channel. Today, it's that time of year. The championship is 1 week away today to the start. So I thought perfect time to annoy a few championship fan bases in my 1 to 24 championship table predictions. Of course, I rarely get these right. The current form I'm on, I've done these for 4 years now. I've had a good season followed by a bad season. Good, bad. If the form box right, this will be a bad season. So I've actually just done that the opposite way round. Just for a bit of fun, everyone does them. Last season, I had the best score out of any YouTuber I compared myself against. And there were quite a few, so go back and check them out if you're interested. But you're here for the 1 to 24 for the 2023-24 season. Let's get into it. 24th, no one wants to be there, but it is Rotherham for me. Now, last season, very good to survive, really good season for the Millers. They lost Dan Barlaser in January. A few people thought they would slip off after that. They kept going. Cheswick Benny and Wes Harding have now departed the Millers. So two big gaps, and that's why this season I do think they'll be going down. Even with them, it would have been a tough ask to survive again because the championship this season looks really strong. For me, they won't do it. Bottom of the pile, Rotherham. In 23rd, I've gone for the first of the newly promoted clubs, Sheffield Wednesday. Now, I did find it really strange when they did sack Darren Moore. However, they appointed Cisco Munoz. Of course, he's got promoted with Watford before. Didn't really get a good shot at that. So he's had one stint in the championship for a few months. Over a full season at Sheffield Wednesday, how will he do? With an aging squad at Sheffield Wednesday, I think they've made two signings, one or two signings, but yeah, I don't think they'll have enough next season. Of course, Hillsborough, the fans are going to be right up for every home game. I think home form will be really crucial for them to stay up. Will they get over the line? No, I'm saying no. 22nd, another of the newly promoted clubs. It's Plymouth this time. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, yeah, they're doing really good business, but I don't want to overrate them. Of course, their first season back in the championship. They've signed Morgan Whittaker, Bally Mumba, I think it is, the left wing back. So two really good signings for Plymouth there. Of course, they've got a solid back line as well. A few good players over the pitch, but overall, to compete in the championship, I still think they need a lot more. And at the time recording, you know, it's not there. So for me, Plymouth will go down, but with a fight. Now let's move on to the teams that will just be surviving in the championship. 21st, I've gone for QPR. Now I was really close to swapping QPR and Plymouth around, but I look at what QPR have got 1 week going into the season, and it's a lot more than what Plymouth have got. Asmir Begovic as a Seny Dieng replacement is an upgrade, in my opinion, at the goalkeeper department. They've still got Elias Chair, they've still got Willock as well. Lyndon Dykes is still there as well. So some really good players, Kenneth Powell, Jimmy Dunn at centre back as well. So, you know, there is quality after Ainsworth come in the back end of last season. It did take a few games for it to click and look a bit better. This season now, he's had a full pre-season with this group. Maybe he can deliver something a bit more than 21st, but for me, it'll scrape survival. 20th, I've gone for Huddersfield. Now, Huddersfield, of course, they had new owners at the end of last season. Neil Warnock decided to stay on for another season this year, and that's really the saving grace of why I've kept them up and not put them down, because I look at the team and it hasn't really improved on last year. They've made a few signings here and there. Chris Maxwell's come in, a centre-back from Stoke on loan, but nothing incredible at the moment. So for me, Huddersfield is staying up with Warnock. Anyone else, and I'll be putting them in my bottom three this season. 19th, this one could surprise a few people. I've gone for Preston North End. Yes, that's right. Now, I did find this championship table really difficult to predict. Preston was one of those sides where I was starting off, I put them mid-table, and every time I went to make my predictions and adjust them every week, Preston, one of those sides, just kept going down and down and down. Now they've made a few signings, but I've got to say they are pretty average. Last year they had a really good defence. Preston, were they able to keep it up this season? Possibly, but the other end of the pitch, they've lost Tom Cannon and Delap, who were on loan last season. They're now left with Emil Rees, who was injured for large parts of last season. If you can find his form from before when he was injured, they'll be fine. And I think they will be fine this season, but they'll slip down a lot. So for me, Preston North End 19th. They could easily finish higher, but I just think the teams above them are a lot better. 18th place, I've gone for the newly promoted Ipswich Town. I've seen a lot of people rating Ipswich this season, and I feel this could be like my Sunderland prediction from last season, where I predicted Sunderland 19th and they finished 6th, of course. Ipswich, they're sort of an unknown. You don't know what to expect. I don't want to go out there and put them really high up and then just flop. So I think if I go with a safe option, put them lower down, then I can only be shocked by them improving on that, if you get what I mean. And if they do flop, then I'm okay. A lot of good players in that side, a lot of championship players that were in League One with them last season. So they'll be fine this season, Ipswich. Good coach as well. Yeah, 18th for them. 17th, I've gone for Cardiff, and under a transfer embargo, they have done incredibly well with their business. Aaron Ramsey's come back. I don't think he'll do as well as people say. And no, I'm not just saying that because I'm a Swans fan, although everyone will think I am. So I'll just stop explaining myself there. Colin Grant on loan, they've kept Robinson, of course. A few good, decent championship players in there, but I think 17th for Cardiff. New manager as well. Nobody knows how he's done in the championship before because he's not been in the championship before, but it's an unknown. 16th, Blackburn Rovers. Now this would be a big drop off, but of course they've lost a big player in Ben Brereton Diaz. He's gone to Villarreal on a free transfer. Quite disappointed actually that Blackburn didn't get anything for him and sold him last year. That is the price they pay. They almost did get into the top 6, falling short. Now they have got a few really good players in there, such as Tyrese Dolan, Sam Gallagher, but you know, compared to what they had last year, it's not the same. So for me, Blackburn will slip down the table into the lower half, but they'll be fine with any relegation fears. 15th place, I've gone for the Tigers, Hull City. Now, a lot of people, as well as many of the teams in the Championship this season, are rating them and saying they're going to do really well. I can see that, but once again, the competition this year, everyone's improving. Hull are improving, but they've sort of brought back what they had last year. I've heard Aaron Connolly's coming back on loan. Whether that's been confirmed or not, I'm not too sure. But he didn't really hit the ground running with them last season. Estupiñán scored 13 goals, which for his first season in the Championship isn't bad at all. It's a solid team Hull have. They could easily finish higher than this, but I think 15th. 14th place, Birmingham City, and it has to be said they've probably done the best business in the Championship this season, apart from the newly relegated clubs, and probably Coventry come close to them. But they've signed, where do we start? Ethan Laird, Lee Buchanan, incredible players. The list could go on and on and on. Birmingham, they'll be fine this season. So many years they've been down the bottom of the Championship, struggling to survive, scraping it every year. Now they've made some big investment into the club with some really good players. I think they'll climb a little bit, but to hit onto the next level, to push for the playoffs, I still think they need a little bit more quality. So for me, that's why Birmingham will be 14th. And the final team to finish in the bottom half, I've gone for Watford. That's right. Now, I look at the squad, not very impressive for a team like Watford who expect to be challenging at least playoffs. But then I look at the coach, Ismail. Now, at Barnsley, at West Brom, he got results, and that's why I don't think Watford will be dragged into any sort of trouble. Any other manager, I would be putting them a bit lower, but Ismail knows how to get results. They could finish a bit higher than this, but at the moment the squad's not too impressive. They've lost a lot of quality in that team, so for me, Watford settling down for a few years in the Championship. And Ismail could be gone by the start of the season with the way Watford treat their managers, so we never know with Watford. complete guess. 13th for them. 12th place, I've gone for Stoke. That is right, they have done some incredible business. I completely forgot moments ago when I was talking about Birmingham's business. I mentioned Coventry, but Stoke have done some incredible business as well. Enda Stevens, I think he was on a free. Mark Travers, the Bournemouth keeper, on loan. They've still got Dwight Gale up top, Tyrese Dolan, Campbell, Jacob Brown. Really good team Stoke have, and this season they could be a surprise package for the Championship. Now, since their relegation, they've finished bottom half every single season, I'm pretty sure that's right. But this year, things are going to change. 12th place for them. I think they could be in a playoff race, but just slip away at the last. If they can make a few more signings though, you never know, they could make it to the top 6. 11th place, I've gone for Bristol City, another team I've been really impressed with. Of course, Alex Scott is the main talking point. If they keep him, I really do think Bristol City have a chance of making the top 6. Recent years, their defence has been a big issue for them. They've solved that. Well, it looks like they could be solving it with the additions of Rob Dickie, who is an incredible signing. They've also signed McCrory from Scotland. Really good additions. They've made a few more as well, such as Knight from Derby, the midfielder. So, it's looking really good for Bristol City this season. They do score quite a few goals, but defensively, as I say, last few seasons they haven't been good. Could this be the year it clicks for Pearson? I think they will make a big improvement, but if they keep Scott, they could have a case for the playoffs. For me though, I think as the way it's looking, they'll lose Scott, and that's where I think they'll finish 11th. 10th place, I've gone for West Brom. West Brom, a tricky one, because I look at the coach as well, Carlos Corberán, fantastic manager. He also can get results out of the team. Daryl Dike coming back from injury will be a massive help to West Brom next season. West Brom have got a really good team. I think they'll do well this season. The playoff race is going to be really, really exciting. I think they'll miss out. 10th place for the Baggies. 9th place, I've gone for the Swans. This is the first season of doing predictions that I've not put the Swans in the top 6. Now, of course, you call me biased for all that before, but I don't mind it. I genuinely thought we would have got the playoffs. And it's a bit weird, really, because I feel like if we did keep hold of Russell Martin, this season really would have been the one where the style would be clicking. I feel like the players had a really good understanding of the style of play now, but of course he left to Southampton. We've now got Michael Duff, and he's a bit more results-based manager rather than important playing style like Russell was. Russell wanted to have a good performance, then get the results. Michael Duff doesn't really care about the performance as long as it's a decent one, as long as we get a result, if that sort of makes sense to you. So I am excited for Michael Duff. Pre-season has been great, but you can't really judge off pre-season. It means nothing. I do think we'll do well this season. 9th place. It looks really exciting for the Swans. New investors as well in. Hopefully they put a hand in their pockets. Of course, a big talking point is Joel Perreault leaving. It looks inevitable that he will be leaving. If we keep hold of him, however, it does sort of ruin our transfer window, sort of, because we can't really invest in other areas then, unless, of course, the owners dip into their pockets, because the Joel Perreault money, about 10 to 15 million that we value him at, that'll help on a lot of transfers, of course. If we keep him, less money to spend, and we lose him on a free next summer, so I probably would rather sell him, although he is a fantastic player. Swansea, 9th. In 8th place, I've gone for the Black Cats, Sunderland. Tony Mowbray seems to be reuniting with Bradley Dack soon, and Sunderland, that's just one signing that Sunderland have made this summer. They've made a few really, really good ones. The reason I don't think they'll get top 6 is Amad Diallo last season contributed to a lot of goals. How will they replace him this season? They haven't done it so far. I still think they'll be up there, Sunderland, but not in the playoffs like they were last season. 8th for Sunderland. 7th place, I've gone for Norwich City. Of course, Norwich, you will expect them to be up there. Last season, a lower mid-table finish. This season, I think they improve on that. Of course, it's Wagner's first full season at Norwich. Can he deliver something to the fans? Well, they've made a few decent signings. Shane Duffy, Ashley Barnes is in, added to a really experienced group of players who've got promoted time and time again with Norwich. A few quality players in there as well. So Norwich, I think they'll have a good season, but just about miss out on the top 6. In 6th position, I've gone for Saints, Southampton. Of course, this could be a big shock to people. Why haven't you put them higher? The reason is Russell Martin. Of course, at his time at Swansea, it did take a while for it to click. Of course, he is at a club with a lot more money to spend. The players are a lot better, so maybe implement the style a bit quicker. That's why I've put them in the top 6. But if there's any other sides that just come down from the Premier League that I think could miss out on the top 6 finish, it would be Southampton and down to Russell Martin. It does take a while to click his system, but when it does click, they're really good. And with such a talented group of players, Southampton, they could be really dangerous next season. I could be massively underrating them here, but I don't think it'll click straight away. I think it'll take 2 to 3 months with Martin for it to click. If Southampton give him that time, they really should. I was a big fan of Russell Martin at Swansea. I think he will deliver something to Southampton, and this season it'll be a top 6 finish in 6th. 5th place, I've gone for Coventry City. That is right, the Sky Blues back-to-back 5th place finishes would be incredible for the team, and Mark Robins is doing a fantastic job there. Of course, they've sold Victor Gyökeres early on in the window, to be honest, so that's all out the way, and now the signings they are making are really, really exciting for the Sky Blues. And this season, I think they'll do just as good as they did last season in a harder Championship league with the teams. So yeah, really exciting for Coventry. I think 5th place for them. Maybe they will go up through the playoffs, you never know. Last time they were really unlucky, of course, losing on penalties. Could this be their year? We'll have to wait and see. 4th place, I've gone for Millwall. Now, this is a bit of a bold one because I've seen a lot of people putting them between 8th to 11th, let's say. Not really thinking they'll get into the playoffs, but I do. The players like Fleming, Vlogstammer, they've signed Nisbet, of course, to add to the strike force, which is a really exciting addition in my opinion. Swans were linked to him a few windows back and I really wanted him, I can't lie, so really excited to see how he does in the Championship. Of course, the back line, Millwall, are always going to be solid. Defensively, they are really good. Under Rowett, I think this is the season, finally, that they get playoffs. Of course, they've missed out now. The last 2 seasons, they have been really, really close to making it. This season, I think they'll make it. I hope they make it, to be honest, because Millwall, they do deserve it. It's their time. I think this year, they'll get 4th. 3rd place, just missing out on the automatic promotion spots. I've gone for Michael Carrick's Middlesbrough. Of course, tricky one this one. I was so close to putting them 2nd, but in the end, 3rd place. The reason is the loans they had last season. They've replaced Zach Steffen with Seny Dieng, who was a really good replacement for them. They've also made a lot of other signings, none that are too out there. Of course, they lost Cameron Archer on loan last year. If they can get a big striker in on loan, like Archer, I think they could probably change my mind and go in 2nd. But of course, I'm making this video now 1 week to the season, so I think Middlesbrough will just slip off the automatic promotion chase and finish 3rd for another playoff campaign. 2nd place, I'm back in Leeds United to bounce back up, which does mean Leicester to win the league, by the way. We'll move on to them in just a second, but Leeds United first. The signing of Ethan Ampadu, first and foremost, is massive. Daniel Farke as the manager, of course he's won promotion with Norwich before winning the Championship. I'm not backing them to win the Championship this time, but I'm backing them to get 2nd. Really talented group of players. Ellen Road will be bouncing. New owners at Leeds as well, so I do think it's only positive signs of them. I think they will bounce back up in 2nd place. And as I say, my winners of the Championship for next season are Leicester City. All you have to do is look at the team. All you have to do is look at the team. It's incredible. They signed Harry Winks, Connor Cody as well, I'm pretty sure. They've also signed a goalkeeper from Brøndby, looks really good as well. Added to the team, they have so much depth in that side as well. Without a doubt, probably some of those players that are in there will probably be sold. Of course, we've seen James Maddison and Harvey Barnes get sold already, but the players but the funds they have to invest in the squad is really exciting, and the rest of the championship don't stand a chance really. So I think Leicester will win the league. I don't know about walking it, maybe. I'll have to wait and see. Will they break the points record? I think so. I think they'll break the 106 points record set by Reading this season. Well then guys, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please drop a like and subscribe. This is the Championship prediction video. I'm doing a Premier League prediction video. That one will be out in the week, so check that one out. The new season is so close. We've been so long this summer without any football, but it's coming back. Regular matchday vlogs on the channel. Stay tuned for that. Like, subscribe, share it around with your mates. Let me know your predictions in the comment section down below, as well as your thoughts, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Goodbye.